Thank you for tuning in to Street Widows podcast, where some of us heal in public so those healing in private can keep going. This week's episode is dedicated to Takeoff and is brought to you by the streets of Atlanta. Thank you, everyone who participated.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Ashley, the 29-year-old widow, host of Street Widows podcast. And today I'm here in Atlanta, outside of State Farm Arena for the unfortunate, but what I hope will be a beautiful celebration of life for rapper, superstar, culture shifter, Takeoff. You can see the beautiful picture that they have on the billboard behind me. So there's been a lot of bashing on social media of people who grieve celebrities or people who they don't know or really have a relationship with. So this week, Street Widows is taking it to the streets to see what the streets have to say about it. Stay tuned.
Street Widows taking it to the streets.
Your name and where you from?
I'm Swagger the Gang Spitter, straight up out of Harlem, New York.
How do you think people grieve celebrities?
We when you come on celebrity status, when you get on celebrity status, you're looked at as an icon. So the grief is a little different.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
I'm gonna keep it all the way funky, which Marvin Gaye was one that hit me real hard because his music was so epic. His music was so heartfelt. His music was so prolific.
Any last words for Takeoff?
R.I.P. to you, man. You didn't live up to your fullest potential, but God, you know what I'm saying? God got something big.
Street Widows taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
Because we grew up with these people. You know, we've been listening to them since we were in like middle school into high school, every day going to work, coming back from work, stuff like that. So it's definitely hard, that they're not going to be here anymore, or like you can't relate to them as much anymore. It's definitely hurtful.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Aaliyah.
I personally think maybe because their music touches us. We get used to seeing them on social media. We get intrigued with them. And then especially the way that they die, it makes it like even worse for them not to be here anymore.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Young Dolph.
I guess, like she said, they're more into social media and highlight of everything, not in day in your everyday life on camera, and you feel like they're all in your life in personal.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Really, I really think Whitney Houston did.
I think people grieve celebrities because they're so relatable. I mean, at the end of the day, we forget that they're human as well. So when they tell their stories and their music, it hits a lot of people and it hits home. So it's like when you have your favorite artist and you hear that, something tragic happened to them where they lost their life, I feel like it's that part of you that connected with them musically. It's like it dies with them. So I feel like they grieve that the most, because a lot of people feel like they can't relate to a lot of other people out here. And I feel like they relate most to whatever rapper or artist that they listen to a lot of the time. Yeah.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Ooh. Which one hit me the hardest? I would say it's a few of them, but I feel like one of them would be also like Young Dolph or like Takeoff, for example. Especially if they're like an artist where you don't really see them in a lot of drama. You don't really see them in a lot of mess. It's like they're just out here handling their business, taking care of their families, and going home. That would hit anybody the hardest because it's like they didn't deserve to die, like especially if it's in like some crossfire and they weren't expecting it. That hits the worst because it's like not just a celebrity, but anybody in general. If you're hitting crossfire or something tragic happens to you on accident, it's kind of like, damn, like you didn't deserve to die like that.
Street Widows taking it to the streets. Why do you think people why do you think Take two. Street Widows taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrity deaths?
We build a bond.
Yeah, we build a bond. We got a bond with them. That's our cousins when you think about it. Like, we got a bond with them niggas. Like, those are our cousins. So then you took our quiet cousin. Y'all took our, that's our baby cousin. He older than us, but that's our cousin. Like, we love that man. Everything that they did, they speak about what's going on around here.
Well, yeah, we built a bond with him. We have like a personal connection in a way to him over the years.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
This one,
Next to this one, cause this one hit. Too.
I think,
like, this
yeah,
one
dog.
hitting, like hitting. Next to this one, dog.
Okay. Y'all, rest in peace. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for what you did for us. Thank you for what you did for the world.
Down for you already know.
Why do you think people grieve celebrities or people who they don't know?
People turn to music, like for like problems in life and stuff. So they go into some. They might play different artists who they like look up to.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Young Dolph.
Why?
Favorite rapper.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Rest in peace.
Street widows taking it to the streets. Tell me, why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I think people grieve celebrities because these celebrities help us through lots of our own problems. So when they pass away, it just hits us hard in the heart, and we just need, people to help us get through. And so when they pass, it's hard for us to, handle that. So yeah.
And what celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Probably this one, honestly, because he's from Atlanta, and I feel like I grew up with him and his songs and everyone. And plus, right now, they were a little rocky, and so just hearing that he passed away in such a tragic way, it really hit hard. So,
any last words for Takeoff?
Mm-hmm. Just rest in peace. I hope you're just in peace, because he was one of the chillest Takeoffs. He was one of the chillest Migos out there. So, I just hope he's resting and having a good time wherever he's at.
Why do you think people grieve celebrities or people who they don't know?
I don't really know. At the end of the day, it's like they still people. They just got a little bit more money than your average person, but they share themselves with the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, as far as like with Takeoff, I look at him like a son because I have a son around about his age. So it's like, you see this young man, he go to work, he get his money, he go home, you don't hear anything bad about him, and now this happens. So it's like, my heart goes out to him.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Oh man, Tupac. I was young.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Honestly, it's for his mom. Like I just, my heart goes out to her because I'm a mom, and she shared her son with the world for all this time for his talents and whatnot, and she's still finding a way to share, her son and his in her moment of grief with the world.
Mm-hmm. Street Widows podcast, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I think people grieve celebrities because they have a natural influence on the community due to what they put out, their music and their art, depending on what they are into, kind of displays like what that person maybe is going through or could be going through. It's kind of like an outlet for people.
And what celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Ooh, I would probably have to say Takeoff as far as right now. A lot of people say Nipsey. I had a more of a closer relationship as far as experiments with music, and it kind of that music, that realm of music, kind of got me through a lot of things, especially in college.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Takeoff.
People grieve celebrities because we feel close to them through their music. We grew up listening to their music, and it makes us feel close to them.
And what celebrity death hit you the hardest?
I would say Michael Jackson.
Me too. Yeah. That was a tough one. Any last words for Takeoff?
May he rest in peace, and this shouldn't be happening today at all. He should still be here with us, but we're going to represent for him and love him and fly high.
I feel like people grieve celebrities because, especially musicians, because they may need their music going through hard times. Like, whenever I was down, I would turn on the Migos. I grew up listening to their music, so, that's why I feel that way.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Takeoff. I was young when Aaliyah died. I was young when Left Eye died, so I didn't really feel it like that. But from me, they around my age. So I was rocking with them since Bando. So that's why it's hitting me really, really bad.
Last words for Takeoff?
Rest in peace. We ain't gonna never forget you. You don't reach nigga.
Street Widows podcast, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I think it's because they make such an impact, like not just in music, but in general. We relate to them. They were regular. Like Takeoff for me, he grew up in an area where we grew up our whole lives. So, just to see something like that, someone where we're from, come up and, make the impact that they made. I think that's what really gets us going.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
I mean, I'd say Kobe, just because I really love basketball, and Mamba lives forever. But I mean, Takeoff really hit me a lot. Like I cried a little bit. I know she cried a little bit. It's very crazy. It's just, let's stop the violence.
Any last words for Takeoff?
I don't even know what to say, man. There's rest in peace, Take, man.
Street Widows, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
Well, for me, I'm a big music person, so I know that a lot of like celebrity music that I like, it helps me get through like hard times and stuff. So I grew up on the Migos, so you know when you grow up with artists, it's kind of like even though you don't know them, it's kind of like you know them. So,
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
When I was younger, honestly, I want to say Michael Jackson because I love Michael Jackson. But if Young Thug died, that would definitely hit me the hardest.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Long live Take.
Thank you. Street Widows, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I think because once you grow up, like you grow up with these people. So to see somebody that you grew up and they're gone, you feel a certain type of way.
And what celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Michael Jackson.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Mama.
Street Widows, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I think people grieve celebrities because they feel like they're a part of their families, because they're in their homes, on their radios and things like that, and they're so engulfed in the life that they see on TV and hear on radio, they feel like they're a part of their families.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Celebrity death that hit me the hardest was Patrick Swayze, honey. I loved him.
Any last words for Takeoff?
I'm glad he's in a better place because this world is terrible. I hate that he had to go so early, and I just have prayers for his family. That's all.
Street Widows, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
As far as musicians, I feel like people, their music touches their heart, and so I'm a type of person. Music is how I express myself. So your favorite person, your favorite musician that died, I mean, that was your outlet. So, yeah.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman.
Any last words for Takeoff?
RP. That's all I got.
So I think they grieve celebrities because some people have like an emotional attachment to celebrities that they might, like, they've been through the same things they've been through and they probably rap about it or do anything about it, and they can feel like where they're coming from, so they can feel that pain also.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
I'm going to say Takeoff because I've been listening to Migos since I don't know how, back in middle school, I used to listen to them all the time, so it really hurt. It really hurt.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Just RP. RP Takeoff.
Street Widows, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrity deaths?
I think it's for a lot of different reasons. More so, I feel like they can relate to the celebrities that they're mourning. A lot of people grew up listening to these different folks, and their music and culture influenced their ways of life. So I feel like a lot of different reasons affect that.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
This one did because I love Atlanta. Shawty Lopez, I couldn't make it down here for that. So I said I got to make it down here for this because I grew up listening to Migos, and I still do.
Any last words for Takeoff?
I mean, God bless. Appreciate all the lessons and the music, everything you did for the culture.
Street Widows, taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
Why do I think people grieve celebrities? I feel like it's because of the influence that they have on the culture. You know what I'm saying? If they're a monumental person, then they're going to have an influence. So that's what I feel like it is.
Celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Well, I say this year, Takeoff for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from the north side, so I already know how it is. Coming up on that side, like we done ran around them folks. So this one hurt for real. You feel me?
Any last words for Takeoff?
Shit, long live Takeoff. You feel me? I hope Quavo and Set get it together, man, and fix their problems, man, and continue that man legacy, man. For real, no.
Street widows taking it to the streets. Tell me, why do you think people grieve celebrities?
That's a good question. It's the love. It was the love and the respect. Out of love and respect.
And what celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Fair enough. Street widows taking it to the streets. Tell me, why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I mean, sometimes people look up to other people in their life, and like other people said, it's the respect type of thing. But like I said, I feel like they look up to these celebrities and dream to be as big as them, And when they have a short life like this, it hits them a little bit harder. Celebrity death that hit me the hardest. Man, that hit me the hardest. Probably Dolph. I would say Dolph because it was unexpected.
You like the fourth or fifth person to say Dolph today.
Yeah, I would have to say Dolph. It was very unexpected.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Let the legacy live on. He's still gonna be with us. We still gonna be able to play his music, still be able to see him in videos, and think about other things that he's done for Atlanta because he is one of the first people in Atlanta that came up as young and Migos to the end.
Street widows taking it to the streets. Tell me, why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I think people grieve celebrities because they put so much out into the community with their artistry and their talents, and we're able to relate to them as well, making sure and honest and there are certain things that they do that we can definitely I know I say relatable at first, but that we can relate to, that we can feel their pain, their happiness, everything that they're going through. Their life is also always put in Front Street. Like we know their families, we know everything that's going on with them. So it's hard to see all of that, and then all of a sudden it's just taken away from them.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
I would have to say it's a few of them, but I would definitely have to say like Nipsey really hit me hard. I really didn't know too much about Nipsey until after his death. And after his death, I learned that he did so much for the community. I learned that he was, giving back. He was all about, his city, his community, making sure that everybody had what they need to survive and to go on, especially like the young people. So his death hit me hard, like shockingly, because I really did not know much about him. But as I started to research him more and started to learn more about him, it really did hit me hard. And also I can say like Takeoff, it was just like one morning I woke up and my daughter was like, oh, Takeoff is no longer here. He was shot, and I've never heard a negative word about his life or what he's done. I've always heard positivity, always heard that he was very humble, very quiet, was very spiritual. So that one hit me hard as well. Right.
Any last words for Takeoff?
Your work here is done. You did a great job. I know that God is pleased. He only takes the best, and although it's tragic, we don't understand why, but I know that you do, and I know that God does. So
thank you. Widows taking it to the streets. Tell me, why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I think people grieve celebrities because despite them being celebrities, they're able to relate with them in a real way. Although their lives may be exaggerated due to having extra money, most of them start out as real people, and as long as they keep their authenticity, people can always relate with them. That's why they grieve is hard.
Street widows taking it to the streets. Tell me, what celebrity death hit you the hardest? King Von. Do you all think people grieve celebrities even though we've never met them?
I think it's just the love for the music we have for them. So some people sing and see what they say.
And a lot of them do a lot for the community, like that we don't even know. They support us. Any last words for Takeoff?
Rest in peace.
My mama. Street widows taking it to the streets. Why do you think people grieve celebrities?
I mean, through the music, you build a connection. So it's like losing a family member, a friend, a brother.
What celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Gosh. I think I want to say Tupac. I wasn't that old, but it was literally like really close to my birthday. And Tupac had a lot of influence on a lot of people, still do.
Yeah, fact. Any last words for Takeoff?
Just rest in paradise.
Why do you think we grieve celebrities even though we don't know them?
Because I think we find a way to make them part of our life.
Street widows taking it to the streets. Tell me, what celebrity death hit you the hardest?
Funeral I'm going to right here, Takeoff. My brother for almost 10 years. Takeoff hit me. This is my son, so I'm a little older. So Tupac. Because I feel like they connect to them in certain ways. That's why music affects them greatly. Like, you know, Tupac was prolific. So he resonated all over the world. You understand the concept of widows because, you know, there's a lot of mothers out here that's widows. Street Widows Podcast. Straight from LA, we South Central. Booksoverbullets.org. Check us out. Stop the violence. Look me up. Instagram, Foolie, Foolie. Shout out Black Widows.